In this video, I'd like to demonstrate some exercises that will help you further develop your hip rotation, going from hamni all the way around to gaku hamni and back again. Also, when you use your hips, it's useful to think about how you would throw a rubber ball. If you get a rubber ball and throw it to the wall, the harder you throw it, the further it will bounce back. This is similar to your hips. The harder you throw your hips into your technique, the more able they are to bounce back and aid the next technique. From Shizentai, start with your left hand out and right hand on your hip. From here, maintain your stance, don't move your knees or your feet, and rotate your hips and upper body in order to punch 90 degrees to your left. From here, use the power that you've stored in your left hip and your left leg to rotate and push as you drive forward and punch Gakuzuki to your right. From here, use your right leg and your right hip to return back to Shizentai and punch again Chokuzuki. As you develop a greater feeling for this combination, try to move beyond the simple 1, 2, 3 count and maybe do 1, 1, 2 or 1, 2, 1. Finally, try doing this combination in one continuous movement. Again, thinking about the rubber ball. The harder you throw your hips into one technique, the more quicker they'll return for the next. With the previous combination, the first punch was in Gaku Hamni, with the following two punches feeling like Shomendachi. However, with this combination, you are maintaining Hamidachi each time you block. From Shizentai, step forward Giranbarai, making sure that you land in correct Hamidachi. From here, pivot on your heel, rotate your left hip as you prepare for Uchiuke, then release your right hip and right foot as you make Hamidachi Zenkutsu. Again, from here, pivot on your right heel, rotate your right hip round, and then execute Agyuke, again in Hamidachi. With this exercise, it's really important that you make sure you don't simply pivot in your stance. You must use your hips in a wave-like action. So from Hamni, you're rotating the back hip round to make Shomen, and then driving the front hip in to make Hamidachi again. If you simply rotate, it is quick, but not so effective. The last technique is simply kicking back leg Mawashigeri. Start in Zenkutsu with your hips in Hamni. As you kick, be mindful of your supporting leg. Don't over twist it, which will make it difficult to return back into stance. But don't keep it too straight, which will inhibit your hip and prevent your foot from finishing in the correct position. If you do this last exercise correctly, you should be going from Hamidachi right the way around to Gaku Hamni when you execute the kick, and then back to Hamidachi. And as you make Kime with the kick, the feeling of your hip should be exactly the same as the first punch we made in the very first exercise. Standing in Shizentai and turning your hip completely in and punching this way is exactly the same as the hip position when you kick Mawashigeri with your supporting foot not overturning.